you can really underestimate the power of making a mark on a piece of paper that's not too thought out. So I've developed a style that has come about through quite a few years of practice, and it will always resurface. It will always come back to life, and so it's just part of my psyche, and part of my pathway from my brain to the paper. And that's why like journaling can be really is the same thing. You move your experience, your mind experience, from your brain, where you have all of your emotions and all of your collective kind of like experiences, and then you take it down onto the paper. So we have been conditioned to draw what we think we see, and that can essentially not be what we feel. So it might end up looking like a thing that we think that we have seen, instead of perceiving a what's on the pathway, what's on the journey between you and the paper. And it happens over time because you're really breaking down a conditioning that you've had, like a conditioning, I always say, you've broken down a system, a key system of awareness, and all of a sudden that's changing completely. So I'm going to do one now, remembering that this is so different for everybody. So what you see me doing, you'll have a judgment of it. You'll also have an idea of what you think it should look like or how it should be. So all of those things are part of your psychology. They're part of your building blocks of who you are. And so it's really I'd be really keen for you to listen to what that brings up. It doesn't matter how negative it is, if it's like you don't like it, or you feel that it's should look a different way. That's all part of it. Even if you just go, oh, that's beautiful, I love that, that's just like so special, then that's part of your pathway. So there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no good, there's no bad. It purely is channeling. And for me, I didn't realize how connected to nature I was until I started doing this again most recently. And the creatures that are coming through are just like quite incredible. And so I will continue to practice with them, and see what comes through, and how I can progress and what the story is, because there's always a story. And also depending on how you may prefer to use a pencil, you may prefer to use a brush strokes. I would, at this stage, working on this in this kind of medium of sketchbook, and it is to work with a sketchbook and pen. And then, if you want to move on to something that is uh, on a different scale. My intention is that Lola's doing her bit, is for us to move towards creating a piece of work for our homes that is so thought-provoking for you, because it is so easy to go out and purchase a piece of work for your home. I think I would like to help people to create their own piece that creates that much sort of feeling in them that they're really inspired to have it on their wall. So just imagine we see decorative art all of the time, don't we? We see pieces of work that we think we would like to have in our environments because of the way that they make us feel. So what if you could portray that into a system that brings it to life, that you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of pounds on? What do you think? So this is how I see it starting from here. And also, if there is any thought words that come up in your mind, they can be really, really important at this stage. Descriptive words, anything that pulls through your experience, and your expectation of how you want it to look and how you want it to feel. So without me chatting too much, I'm going to draw, excuse my name, just finding a way to let's try to go. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go in then. So it will go quiet. Um, but I think when I upload this, I will shorten it so that you can see. What I'm doing is, can you see how those similar shapes have just appeared? They're like seeds with extensions on them. Also, like trying to be quite loose with the pen, or pencil, so that you're not really in tight like this. With the writing hand, just being a bit looser with the pen can create some quite interesting things. You can see that there's kind of depth. Whereas with Cat, very good friend of mine, we went to Hauser and Worth, the awesome gallery here in Somerset, not so long ago, and this afternoon rather. And we were both sat in the garden and we started drawing. And just this chandelier thing that you can see happening here again, or candelabra thing that was just coming through earlier on. And it had like lots of faces in it. So I don't know what that was all about. But they're kind of scribbles really. But when I've completed one, I don't touch it. Like I know when it's done. And what I do from that is step away from it and see how I can translate it into a piece of work. Just make something of it. If you can see like the features of something within it, and you can sort of offer it out and or ask it to come through. Um, One of my favorite things is symmetry or duality. I love things to be balanced. And I also like quirk or disharmony. Harmony and disharmony, I guess. So don't not being afraid to make a mark on a piece of paper, because if it's a disappointing mark and it's a challenge for you to accept that you've made a disappointing mark, that's part of the process. It's so valid, so valid to what you're creating. That you just can't, or yeah, those are the most important marks, I think, the ones that you're not particularly over the moon about. Because they hold so much information of your information. That's when Nana gets involved and she hears the noise of the pen. So there might be an artist in there somewhere. Love round things. Um, Today was quite fascinating because when we were at the art gallery and we went to see an artist we'd never seen before. We didn't know what we were going to see. Kat was talking about crabs, um, and how who's talking about crabs? She's talking about crabs. Oh yeah, she had a dream, yeah. And we walked in and the first painting, had a massive blue crab on it. It's quite extraordinary. We were just like, oh, psychology. Yeah, no, I love the scratching noise. Oh, oh, it's a little bit of a thing, Mm. So what I've got here is now I'm getting a little bit involved. I'm getting a bit sort of see. Mm, yeah, there's a lot going on in it. It's quite nice because I would have stopped by now, but because I'm talking to you, I'm creating a bit more. But there's elements of like seahorse and those things that come out of the fly. And the fly's got like that little thing. What is that? Like, whenever is that gonna appear anywhere other than from my 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 what was I gonna say? My pathway. That's just mad. And you might be able to see loads of different things and that I can't. I mean, I always seem to end up with like a wing, tail, these like eyeball things, and sort of moosey head type structure. The one I did earlier today, which is yeah, looked like a seahorse. And it's really exciting. It's just so deep and um there's a story in it that excuse me, you're capturing in the 3D that otherwise would just stay in your energy. You'd never see it. That's what I love about this. And so I will continue to create my, and then there's a set, like I said, it was like truth sketching. There's a certain amount of your truth it appears here. And like I said before, oh, 1 second, I've got it here. This is it. So it's like a seahorse fly with antlers and snake's tail. There's a story. There's a story in this creature. And it has a kind of stance of a human, like an old, hunched over. It's quite an old soul. And its wings, like just resting out. Bunkers. Again, the moose. Like when you do this, you might come up with some just other crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy. Oh yeah, so this is today. This was in the gallery today. So it's my multi-faced candelabra. But at the same time, like it does not really matter what it is. It's just a beautiful outlay of your thoughts and feelings. You might be able to see different. I'd love to know what you see. If you can see anything else. And this is the little one that started it all off. And it's just like a fly thing wearing a tutu. Wearing a tutu and seems not very good sort of thing, is it? Wearing a tutu. It's because I've got the fade out in the background. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm so thrilled with this. And as much as I have no idea where it's going. I've got no idea. I feel a lot of freedom in it. And so yeah, I will share with you. I feel that Astea Soul has become like a sounding space for me to work out where this is going to go. So I would love your input. I love and appreciate all of you, the fact that you're there to support this new evolution from spirituality now into creativity. Who knows where it's going to go? So blessings to all of you for being there, and put pen and paper and see how you show up, and don't be like the points I would suggest are: one, don't be scared to make a mistake, because you can overthink making a mark. The beauty of a mark that if you're happy with is that it contains so much value because it's come straight out of you without trying to think it too much through, and work off of that mistake or that piece of mark making and work off of it and it's quite extraordinary what comes with it. Write down words. So for me, for instance, the other day I wrote down nature, critter. I don't know how I came up with the word critter because it's just insects, basically. Insects. Um, some of them have dancing tutus on, so dance, nature, um, and almost like I feel like this work is telling me to free up myself. Um, I think early on in this day, so I was very like um, sticking to some really age-old principles of what um, my students have always wanted to hear from me, and I kind of have left behind or left to one side my first love, which has always um, been creative. So it's all linked, and I am so thrilled that it's going to come about in one way or another. So if you do a piece of work, then let me know. I'd be so interested to see what it is. And I think if anything we need now is to bring back that individuality uh, and creativity, because we're in a time when there's so much generic, so much repetitive, so much stuff that's the same that we're losing the edge. We're losing the edge of, you know, going back to the schools of art where there was so much investigation and there was so much sort of curiosity, trial and error. And I think we as humans have the capacity to be really, really um, mind-blowingly beautifully expressive. So let's do it. I'm so excited. I'm excited and full. I feel really full in my heart with this. So thank you for joining me. I would love to see what you've done, if you've done anything. And yeah, pop in the comments um, if any of that triggered you into a thought process of, yeah, I'd really like to do more work. Okay, that's my truth. So, if you see something in there that I don't, I'd be really intrigued. Namaste, everyone. Bye.